Hey everyone, it's Shannon here with Wedding Venue Map. So excited to bring this product to you. As you know, I attend Wedding MBA every single year, and one of my very favorite things about that conference, other than speaking, educating, teaching, all of those things, is walking the showroom floor. Because I feel like when you walk around and you see all the booths and all of the things, I'm always on the hunt for what's like the new shiny, what's up and coming, what's the new technology and things that exist. And I got very excited when I got to meet Peter and his team with CalUp, and just learning more about this service they provide and this huge problem that they solve when it comes to the wedding planning process. He and I have spent some quality time together. We did a demo, and let me tell you guys, I have never in the history of a demo, you know me, I ask 1,000 questions, everybody, over and over. I ask so many questions. Every time I was like, can it do this? And does it do that? The answer was a resounding yes, 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 yes. Like, it's like they had thought through, and, they were really smart to work with some planners and things like that. And we all know in today's world that when it comes to tracking guests and guest correspondence, all of that can be really overwhelming for the couple planning. So I asked Peter from CalUp to come in, join us today, do a great demo, show exactly how it works. And I'm going to let him take it from here. Welcome, Peter.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the kind words too. I'm excited to present to the Wedding Venue Map crew here.
Yes.
So we'll jump in. So I'm Pete Buhl. I founded CalUp about 2.5 years ago, and we started off with a very general kind of concept for events and activities, and we supported everything from corporate retreats to cycling camps to family reunions. And planners repeatedly told us that this would be great for weddings. And so last summer we stepped back. We got a lot of feedback from planners, and we kind of went underground for about 5 months, just refining our feature set to make sure it really fit kind of the wedding scenario. And we launched that at Wedding MBA, where we met Shannon, and that was great. And so, today, if we kind of step back, we're really the only solution for planners and couples that provides an easy to use coordination tool to publish personalized wedding itineraries that help keep the wedding party and the guest informed and on track in kind of that week of and day of coordination. It's a visually very compelling experience for all the guests who are using the app. And we've got some cool features like messaging for guest communication and private photo sharing. The idea is to make the wedding, a little bit more engaging. But we also try to take some of the anxiety out of the wedding, out of the whole wedding process for everyone. And for the couple, they can be kind of, feel calm knowing that everybody knows where to be and when. For the guests, we found that CalUp preemptively answers hundreds of questions, literally. People are constantly referring to the app to figure out, where do I pick up the shuttle, or what time does the reception start, or, all the details that they need to know. So it's great for guests. And the planner knows that everyone has their personal itinerary, and there's an easy communication mechanism in the event that something changes. You never want anything to change. You want everything to go as planned. But when that doesn't happen, it's great to be able to send out, that text alert or an invitation update with kind of the new time or place or whatever might be needed. And the goal then is just a more enjoyable experience for everyone.
Yeah. And I think that normally when I see new tools and new technology and things like this, I mean, I got excited by a few things at Wedding MBA, but then my first question would always be like, what does it cost? And what was fascinating was that as a company, CalUp has really figured out something that is an affordable option that is not, once you see everything included, and Peter will go over exactly the details, but you would think like, oh God, great. It's going to be like $1,000 for couples to use it, but it's super affordable. It's super easy to use. And he's put together a demo today with one of our venues here in the St. Augustine market, the Treasury on the Plaza. So we can kind of see exactly what that will look like utilizing that specific venue and just kind of sample itinerary and pieces like that. So I'm going to let you screen share. I'm going to go disappear, but I'll be here if anybody has any questions.
Great. Let me make sure I get this sharing working here.
Sure.
Let's see. Screen share and share.
There you go.
Sounds
good. All right, we're good to go. I'll be back towards the end.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so let's jump into this. So what I'm sharing right here is the app. So this is the CalUp Wedding Guest App that everybody that attends the wedding will have. And if you're a guest, you might just see the ceremony and the reception. And if you're part of the wedding party, you're going to see the whole, all the different activities you're engaged in here. Typically, CalUp is used by the primary wedding coordinator. So that's usually a professional planner. If a venue offers full service coordination, the coordinator can manage the CalUp setup experience. And some couples will also use it as a DIY tool. So let me jump into the demo here, and hopefully you'll see that the app is fun and easy to use, and that the setup is intuitive and straightforward for planners. So let's go right here. So if you look at my screen, I've got, basically across the bottom, we've got the home screen. So on this home screen, we have all of the activities that this person, and this person, Paula in this case, is attending, all aspects of the wedding. She's part of the wedding party. So that we have a wedding weekend overview pinned at the top. We have a welcome reception and dinner. We have a day at Volano Beach. We have a rehearsal and a rehearsal dinner. As I scroll through, hair and makeup, first look and photos, a ceremony, and a reception. So you can see all the different activities that somebody might be engaged in, and you can add any custom activity that you want as well if there's transportation and that sort of thing. So if I tap into this overview event just to show you what the event detail screen looks like, you can see it's Amy and Jim's wedding. It's happening at Treasury Island Plaza. I can click on the view map, and this is integrated with Google Maps, so somebody can get routed exactly to where they need to go for any given event. I have an event description. We complement the wedding website greatly. So the wedding website is usually a static page that exists someplace and is often hard for folks to find, but we can put a link to the wedding website right here. And in this case, I tapped on that and just went to the Zola homepage, but you get the idea. You can also add any PDF document to any event. So in this case, for people coming to St. Augustine, I hope I pronounced that right, we have the area map, and you can see a little area map of St. Augustine here. There's also chat for any event, and these features can all be turned on or off. So we have event group chat. If I click into there, I can start a chat thread with other people that are coming to the wedding. And then at the bottom, I have photos, and I can see the various photos that have been uploaded for this event. And I can even add my own photos from my photo library or my camera directly. So that's basically the architecture or the components of an event. I want to show a couple other events here just for some other concepts. So welcome reception and dinner. In this case, this is at the Peña Peck House in St. Augustine. And we have a element here called a meet point. So this is basically a tool to help people get folks to the exact right location at the right time. So they can see exactly where the reception is, and they can see the two parking lots that you can park in nearby to get to. And this is great for other things like shuttle meet points, exact location where you're going to take photos, that sort of thing, just to make sure people get to the right location. Let's go back, and I want to show the Volano Beach Day. Okay, and so if I click on Volano Beach, I have a link here. So I don't have the wedding website. I have Ocean Sands, which is the resort where this is at. And I click on that, and folks can go see what the different things to do are at that location. I can add another PDF. Before I had an area map. In this case, I have a what to pack. So just giving people an idea what to pack for their beach day. So you can include information into events like that as well. Okay. So that's that. I'm going to show one other item here that's interesting. So for hair and makeup, planners have used CalUp this way. So we have hair and makeup. The link at the bottom here is a hair and makeup schedule. So it's just a simple PDF document that you attach to the event, and folks can see exactly the scheduled time for people to do their hair and makeup, with the various artists and stylists. Okay. So that gives you a sense of what the app experience is for wedding party members and guests. And again, a guest may just see the ceremony and reception and transportation and that sort of thing, just the elements they need to see. The key points here is that everybody gets their own personalized itinerary. If you're the wedding party, if you're the family, everybody might have a slightly different itinerary, but they only see the events that they need to see. The other element here is that you can customize all these elements per event. You can turn photos on or off. You can turn messaging on or off. You can include the link buttons and the document buttons or not. So it's all customizable by the administrator of the CalUp Planner account. And then the last piece is that the messaging and the photo sharing are limited to the attendees of the event. So for example, if hair and makeup is an event right here, and people attending hair and makeup start sharing photos, those shared photos are only shared with the other attendees of that event. So in that way, it's kind of, it's a private group chat thread for that event or a private photo sharing for that event. So that's the app. And one thing that we've done, downloading a new app is always something that we're always doing it all the time, but the question we get often is, will people really download the app? And so we've really worked hard. Let me show you something else right here to make it very easy for people to download the app. And if you look here, when people get an invitation, they can click on a link and it goes to a page where they can either click right through to the App Store. We have a Android version and an Apple version, or if they get this on their PC, they can scan the QR code, and everybody's used to QR codes now for restaurant ordering and all that kind of thing, kind of post-pandemic. So we've really focused on making it super easy for people to get in the app. And our experience so far is that about 70% of guests will download the app. What we think is that there's couples going to the wedding together, husband and wife, and maybe one of them will get the app. So we're not seeing a 100% take rate, but about 70% on guests, and almost 90% of the wedding party members are downloading the app. So we think we've done a good job. We'll continue to kind of refine the process to make it easy to onboard. And the last piece here is we know that people of all ages are attending weddings, and both of my parents are in their 80s, so we use them as kind of test subjects to make sure this is all pretty intuitive and easy to do. So let me transition to the administrator planner view so you can see how all this was created. There we go. Oh, let me move my phone over so you can see that as well. Okay. Oh, we'll close that one. We'll move the phone over. And we'll get this organized. Okay, there you go. Okay, so this is the CalUp Planner dashboard. This is the site that you would log into to create a wedding. And you see here on the left all of the different events that have been created that are now published to the phone. And you see a couple of draft events that have not been published to the phone yet. And I'll show you how to publish in a little bit. We've got a couple of tools to make it very easy to set up a wedding. We've got a wedding create tool. And so if I click on create draft events, I have a wedding creator tool, so you can create using kind of our template of a wedding. You can use sample events that we have in the dashboard to kind of give inspiration for how to use CalUp or what some features might be. You can start from scratch, so you can create a blank custom event, and you can also import events. So if you create a portfolio of events over time, and you're a planner or a venue and you're having repeat weddings kind of doing the same similar things, you can import those events directly in and save a whole bunch of time in the setup. But let me click on the wedding creator tool here, click get started, and it will open up the wedding creator tool page. And it's very simple. You put in the wedding title, partner 1, Amy Smith, partner 2, James Miller, the ceremony date and time zone, and then you select the different activities that you want. So we got our preview overview, we've got a welcome reception, and I've done this before for this event, so I'm not going to create, but you get the idea. And then I can click on change and change the location. If the rehearsal dinner is at a different place, I could change that to the Peña house, or Peña Peck house. And so when I get this kind of organized, I do create events right here at the bottom, create all events. And I come back to the dashboard, and what I'll see then is this whole outline of events. Everything will be in draft mode, and I'll go in event by event and customize it to meet my specific wedding. I'm going to click in the overview event that you saw on the phone. So this is the top event on the phone. And I'm going to view details. And so you can see the details of an event right here. And if I go in, you can see the event name, the date, the location, the status. You can see the number of people that are attending, not attending, confirmed. There is an RSVP element to our system as well. If you want to use that, most planners don't, because they already have the guest list determined when they begin using CalUp. I can edit the event directly from here. I can duplicate it if I want to use this kind of concept for another event. I can add photos to this event, or I can engage in conversations. I see all the details, the Google Map link, the wedding website link, the area map, and then I see the settings. So I can allow invitees to message one another. This is turned off. I can allow participant photos on or off. This is on. Chat, reminders, and then I have different mechanisms for notifying people: text, email, and push. And I can have an RSVP required. So those are the settings that you can set. And down at the bottom, you'll see any photos that have been added to this event. So this event has 5 photos added to it, and you can see them here. So that's kind of the setup an event if you view the details of it. Let's go to, so once you create, so we've created, step back. So we did the auto create tool. We created our draft itinerary. The next step typically is getting your guest list into the CalUp product. And so we click on manage contacts. And you can add contacts individually, but most folks will import contacts. And if I click on import here, you will see an easy 3-step process. So we have a standard CalUp spreadsheet that you can populate and import, or you can import directly from third-party tools. So Joy, Zola, The Knot, and you can basically export your guest list file from those systems and import them into CalUp. And that works great as well. Once you have your guest list in, you organize it into groups, and I'll click on groups right here. And so I have a bunch of groups set up. You can, we have some suggested group names, but you can see Smith family. So you can create any group that you want. And the idea of groups is to kind of organize your people that are coming to the wedding in a way that you can easily associate them with the events you're having. And so I'll show you create a new group. And I'm going to add the Miller family. The Miller family, and I'm going to add members. I think I have a Miller down here. There's Jim Miller. We're going to add to the group. Create, so I could add as many people as I want. I click create. And now I have that group all set. Okay, good. So the Miller family's there now. Okay, so that's groups. And now what I'm going to do is go back to the dashboard. Okay. And we're going to take one of these events, the photo shoot. So I have this additional photos after the ceremony. So I'm going to show you how you can go in and edit and customize an event here. So I'm going to click on edit event. I'm going to basically kind of change this event and kind of make it exactly what I want. So photos, I'm going to say after ceremony. I'm going to change this photo. So this is our standard template photo, but you can add any image to an event you want. And so I'm going to take, we're doing the photos at the Leitner Museum. So I'm going to take the picture of the facade there and add that, crop and upload that guy. And so now you see a nice picture of where we're actually going to take the photos. I'm going to change the location here. And it's as easy as this. I just type in, this is all integrated with Google Maps. So I'm going to say LIGHTR, Leitner Museum on King Street, select. That's it. I'm going to select here. And now that location is in, and I'm going to add a little thing here. I'm going to say by the fountain. By the fountain. Okay. And so we've got our location. I showed you the location hints or meet points that we had in the app. And so I'm going to upload a location hint file here. And this is basically, I think I'm going to do this one right here, Leitner parking. And so you'll see it'll upload this image, and I can see there's the Leitner Museum. and that tells folks where to park when they come to the museum. So we got the meet point, and just I'll add a couple of things here. So we have a concept called in-app co-host, and what this allows you to do is designate a person for any event, so one person per event, who will have the event on their app and can act as the host of the event, basically have edit rights to the event on the mobile phone. And typically this is the planner or an assistant planner who's going to be on site, who wants to be able to make changes and updates on the fly without having to open their computer, because that's super important as you're running around trying to keep everything on track. So you can add a co-host to event. It's a very, very useful feature. We can add invitees here. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to show you that in a second. I can add any kind of event detail content by the fountain there. We can add a, let's see what else we got here. We can add, oh, I know, we're going to add a document here called photo. So this is going to be the label of it, of the button, photo sequence. And I'm going to choose a file, and this is just going to be any PDF file. And I've got a file called photo shoot order. And I open that, and that's now attached. I'm not going to add any website. I've got my settings right here. I'm going to allow participant photos, group chat, turn off reminders, and I don't need any special notifications. So I'm going to save this as a draft. And this handy box pops up that says successfully saved. Do I want to mark this event is complete? So once I'm ready and I think I've got all my content right, I'm going to mark this as complete and say okay. I should bring you back to my dashboard page. And I now see this event. It says draft, but it has the little blue check. It's ready to go. Okay, so that event is ready to go. I'm going to show you now how we get the events actually to publish to the phone. So I'm going to go back up to the top of my screen here, and we have, you can either inside the event, you can add people to an event, but there's an easy tool, bulk actions right here. We say add groups or invitees to an event. And I'm going to click on just this event that we edited here. Okay, and I'm going to add invitees to this event. So add invitees, and so all my groups come up. So I don't want all guests, but I definitely want the bridal party, and I want the groomsmen, and I want the Miller family, and I want the Smith family. And so people can be part of multiple groups. It won't duplicate them. They'll only get one invite. So there's a bunch of overlap in here, but each person is shown once in the add to invite. So I'm going to add them to the invite. Invitees added. So 9 people were added. And that'll take me back to my screen now. Now I see this event is draft complete and has 9 invitees. I can click on the invitees, and they're all pending because I have not sent this yet, but I can see all the different people that are invited to the item. So now that one is ready to go. So now we're going to publish it, and this is the magic. Preview and publish draft events. And I'm just going to do the photos after the ceremony, and I publish selected events. And I get a final preview here. So I look through it one more time, and I've got a good photo. I've got the right location. I've got the right time. I've got the right map link. I've got my meet point. I've got the photo sequence document, and I've got my settings, and I can change settings here if I want to. If I see anything that's wrong, I'm going to skip publish and go back and edit and come back and try again. But in this case, I'm ready to go. So I'm going to publish the event, and it's going to publish to 3 unique invitees. I'm going to continue. And it's publishing, successfully published selected events. Okay. I'll go back to my dashboard, and now that item says published. So now let's see if this works. So we get the magic's on the phone. I'm going to hit this little refresh blue button at the bottom of my phone here on the right, and it's going to refresh my page with current events. And I go down, and right after the ceremony here, we should have, here we go, photos after the ceremony. I tap on the event. I see my nice picture of the Leitner Museum. I see my meet point map, exactly where we're going. I see the photo sequence document, photo shoot order 1, 2, 3, 4. Not very sophisticated document there. Group chat, and I can even start a chat, and I can tell everybody that I'm at the fountain. Boom. And that went off to the other attendees of this event. Okay. So that gives you an idea of how you publish to the app. Let me show you a couple more things here on the dashboard. So we have a messaging tool, and this is super handy if you need to communicate to guests on the fly. So we have two types of messages. We have SMS or text messages and in-app messages. So I'm going to show SMS text messages first. So if I click on this, I can click it, and SMS messages from the CalUp system are broadcast only one way, so people can't respond to them, but it's a great way to get out the word if you need to. And so right here, I'm going to say, click on the plus sign, and you can see I can message an event, or I can message a contact or group. In this case, I'm going to message an event because I want to tell everybody to, let's pick the event that we just did. Let's see, ceremony, the photos after the ceremony. And we say, hi, everyone, hi, all. Please make your way to the fountain. Send, boom. And it sent the text messages out. Now, my phone's in sleep mode, so you're not going to see the text message, but the text message was sent to the device. So that's a great way to alert people, especially if something urgent comes up and you want to get on their phones. Interestingly, I see the one popped up at the top of messages here. This means a message is going in app messages, and this is the message that I just sent a second ago from the phone that says I'm at the fountain. So as an administrator, you can monitor all the messaging that's going on as well. Okay, and with in-app messages, similarly, you can send off a message. You can message an event, or you can message an individual contact and communicate with folks that way. So super handy. Okay. Okay, good. Great. Okay. So let me go back and show a couple things on the dashboard again. So we have, this is for the administrator. So we have a gallery here, and a gallery is the place where you can see photos that have been uploaded to a given event. So here we have the reception. These two events have photos uploaded, and I'm going to click on view all images. I can see the photos that have been uploaded to this event, and I can view a large photo. I can download it. I can delete it. I can download multiple images and share them with a couple. So that's the gallery. We have account settings, and this is where you basically set up the wedding. When you first log into the account, you set up a lot of these elements, but this is the account name, which is Amy and Jim's wedding. A quick description: join us at Treasury on the Plaza in St. Augustine. A web link. We have a notification tool. So if you're a planner and you have lots of events coming up, you can get a notification every Monday morning for any accounts that you have events coming up in the next 30 days. And it's just kind of a handy reminder. You can turn that notification on or off. We have a very cool tool to basically transfer account ownership after the wedding. If you're a planner and you want to transfer account ownership to the couple so that they can keep their photos and all the history for posterity's sake, you can do that. You can add co-administrators to accounts as well. So if you have an assistant planner or assistant coordinator or some member of the wedding party, you can add them as a co-administrator so that they can also manage events alongside you. You have your subscription details, and then we have the ceremony default location. We set a default location for each wedding when you first log into your account, and you can edit that at any time, but we've got Treasury on the Plaza here. So that's account settings. And the last piece on the dashboard I want to show is my account. So if you're a planner or a venue and you have lots of weddings going on, you have a page here where all the various weddings can be displayed here, and you can click into any wedding and manage that wedding discreetly. And so you basically set up a separate account for each wedding. And if I want to add a new account, I click on the add a new account, add account tab, and that would take you to a page like this. And Shannon mentioned our pricing before, but this gives you a sense. So we have 3 different plans for weddings up to 500 invited guests, and pricing is based on the number of invited guests to the event or to the wedding overall. So we have 100 Lily plan $69.99, Rose 250 people is $49, and Orchid plan is up to 500 invited guests. And if somebody has more than 500 invited guests, they can contact us and we can figure out how to enable that as well. That's that. Okay. So I think that gives you a sense of the CalUp tool. And I think I've shared most everything. Is there anything, Shannon, that you thought of that I missed? That
No, I mean, I think it's just like, as you look, it's so good. Like, it's so, I'm watching it again. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I worked at a venue again, because I think that when you look at, the ease of use, the things are where you think they would be, the ability to be able to put the information in and just be able to communicate with everyone in one shot, it's priceless. Like, there's so much time saved as someone planning a wedding. There's so much other stuff they have to do. And if I was a planner or a venue, or even just any of the other categories, yes, as a planner or venue, maybe you have an account where you're co-helping people, but I know we've got some other vendors and other categories watching this, and just being able to recommend this tool to your clients is such a cool, it just shows that you're progressive, you understand their challenges as someone planning an event, and really, want to help guide them so that they can, make the process overall a lot more simple.
Yeah, so some of our early learnings, it's super helpful for things like if you have transportation between venues, you got to get people to the right point, and you're kind of like herding everybody around. It's super useful for that. You can actually change these events on the fly. So we've had planners create events that say, hair and makeup room TBD, because they don't really know until they get to the hotel where it's going to be. And so you can just simply go in once you figure it out and hit edit and say room, 222, and everybody has the current update. And if it's an urgent thing, you can turn on text notifications so everybody gets the text notification. I think about like weather, like where we live in Florida, there's a consistent, constant, the whole world changes because of weather. And so if a rain call gets made that morning and you get moved to a different room in the venue or a different side of things, or it's like, hey, it's going to be really chilly tonight. Recently, I went to and helped on a wedding, and the weather had been really great. And then all of a sudden that day we got a cold pop and no one was dressed appropriately, because unless you had checked the weather that day, you maybe wouldn't have realized that all of a sudden we just went from the low being 65. So that night it was 45 and everyone was freezing. I think it's when you start to really dig into all of the ways, weather and changes and updates and just general information, if it's potentially going to rain, hey, don't forget to bring an umbrella, things like that. There's just so much functionality, I feel like can be handled in a short window of time. Yeah, people say, why not just use the wedding website? Well, the wedding website is great kind of early in the wedding process when you're kind of getting your guest list and all that, but it's pretty static, and it's not the kind of thing you're going to be updating easily over time. And it's not the kind of thing that people have readily accessible, because they have to find the email link and get to it, right? And so this is a tool where, it's really great for that kind of weekend day of coordination when everything starts moving quick and you need to communicate with folks. As you mentioned, if the weather changes, hey, we're pushing it back 15 minutes and we're moving it into the ballroom,
right.
Let's go.
Well, and you think just knows. In general, like weddings are a moving target and things change. And the average couple planning a wedding today is not doing a 5-hour event. It is in general, it's always in the past had a rehearsal dinner or whatever, but now there's like welcome receptions here, and it's not everybody getting invited to everything. And so having that functionality where you really can sort which guests are going to what thing, it just, I mean, I can't, like, I'm starting to think about, like, just for the party that we throw once a year, being like, I'm just going to use this for that. Like, it just is such a great capability to be used really for anyone. So whether you decide and you see this and you think, oh, this is something really cool and we want to implement this, you know, if I was a venue, I'd be building this into my packages. I would say, you know, for up to 150 guests, you know, it's included, your CalUp is included. I would build it right in, because it is such a time saver and a helpful tool for your couples to really, when they're in that 1 year window, to have access and start getting all of that stuff updated. I would just put it into the packages, because I know it's going to save me time, headache. Like when I worked at the venue, people would call me, like they would ask us the craziest questions that we had no idea what the answer was.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't know who to call because it's wedding day and they can't call the bride, the groom, the moms. No one's answering their phones. And sometimes they call the planner, but the planner's busy doing the planner's job. And so they don't have access to the information, or they're lost on property. And I mean, this solves so many headaches.
Yeah, we also think that venues, you know, if they have like on property activities that are kind of revenue generating activities, like if there's a golf course or there's a, you know, kind of a boat excursion or something that they are part of, they can kind of create a demo version of this and share it with their couple kind of earlier on in the process and say, hey, these are some of the things we can do, and use it to kind of encourage more engagement with a couple at their venue versus maybe going off property more.
Yeah, I mean,
so I think there's a lot to it.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then you get the casual meetup, right? The best part, I worked at a golf resort, and the best part about being there for a wedding, because it was a small resort, it wasn't like huge, but the best part about being there was, in general, most of the people at the pool are your wedding guests. Like most of the people, you know, hanging out in the bar late night, the night before, or even 2 nights before, because they traveled in, you know, are guests from the weddings that weekend. So this would allow you that opportunity to have those conversations, and even in advance, kind of see who else is coming to what events and kind of get to know them and get familiar with them a little bit.
Yeah. We've seen people use it for very large weddings. So, you know, up to 350 people so far. But we've also seen people use it for smaller weddings where it's just a smaller group and you're at one location, but it's kind of a good tool to just keep everybody in sync. And if something does change, you can communicate it easily. So, you know, everything does not have to be like a massive, you know, 15 event item. You can have 2 or 3 events, and it works fine for that as well. So,
well, yeah. And I mean, it's priced in a way, honestly, that it's not price obtrusive, that there's no way that it would make sense to do unless you have a ton of people to herd. So I think you guys hit it. Like,
less than a cost of a postage stamp.
Oh my God, stamps just went up again. They're insane. They're insane right now. So yeah, I mean, those updates and those changes and things like that, you could even put the QR code to the CalUp, you could put it on your wedding invitation. Yes, no?
Not well, you could put the CalUp app QR code.
Yeah, the CalUp app.
So everybody downloads it in advance, and then that's a great idea, because then they have the app in advance, and then when the invitation comes in, they're already on the app. So that's a great idea.
So they're already in it. They've already downloaded it, and then they just got to kind of join that piece.
Yeah. And as soon as you send the invites out, it all fills out with the itinerary that they're going to. We've actually seen people, you know, they're planning their engagement party, so these subscriptions all last for a year. So you can sign up, you know, 11 months before your wedding and still have plenty of time. But we see people kind of using it early on to, you know, for their engagement party or for other activities leading up to the wedding. You can even send out a virtual preview event to everybody and say, hey, upload your photos of the couple from when they were younger or when you knew them, and kind of collect all those in advance of the wedding. So there's kind of pre-event activities that can be had as well.
Yeah. Now, somebody who's planning super far in advance, right? Because there's kind of 2 sets of couples in the world. They're either the 18-month out planner, and they're like, I want to check all the boxes and do it. Can they just add on time or extend it? Is that something that's an option?
You just renew the account for another year, and it's not that expensive if it goes on. But we've had a planner come to us 10 days before the wedding, large wedding, and say, we want to do this. And it was a scramble, but, you know, and it was multi-venue and all that kind of thing. And it got done and it was fine. We don't recommend
That is
signing
not
up a week
ideal.
beforehand.
That is not ideal.
So I think 30 days is good if you're familiar with it. 60 days is, easy. And if you're a long-term kind of OCD planner like me and you want to start 11 months in advance, that's good too.
Literally, that would be me. I'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to start building the things right now so that as soon as the next event is planned, we put it into the system.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
Well, this is really awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to show it and share it. And we'll be definitely sharing Peter and CalUp's links and the information and everything. And if you guys have any questions at any point, you can always ask me. You can email Peter directly, but hopefully you see the value in starting to think progressively about, the technology and tools that are becoming readily available. We are spoiled in the event industry because sometimes people build things that aren't intended for us for weddings and then see that it really has that ability to be able to use. And Peter and his team really building this and making those changes really specific for weddings has been pretty exceptional. So I'm excited to be able to continue to promote them, share about them on social media and email blasts and with couples planning their wedding, and figure out how you guys can utilize it within your own business.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks so much for being here. And thanks for those who attended live. And of course, those who will watch this on the replay. So thanks so much, guys. I'm going to end this now. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.